We're joined by Brian Molko from Placebo. Brian, when we're doing this interview, it's the day of your Sydney concert on your tour that you're going around. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. Where does this put you in the preparation for a gig night? Do you start thinking about the gig during the day, or is it just half an hour before the gig? What's the sort of preparation on a gig day?
I don't really start thinking about the gig until we actually get to sound check. If we're touring around Europe or something in a tour bus, then we'll spend most of the day sleeping. Could probably get up around 3 and start sound checking around 4. On a day like this, I chuckled to myself as I was on the beach this morning, sunning myself and swimming around in God's swimming pool, thinking about how miserable and rainy it was in London, So that's kind of how I've prepared today, sort of like being very, very relaxed, getting up early and getting in some rays.
Well, we've been playing English Summer Rain as the single we're playing at the moment for your tour. If you were going to write a song about an Australian weather condition rather than English Summer Rain, what would you call the song?
Oh, God, I don't know. Sand in the Vaseline. How's that one?
Nice. Well, so you said about soundcheck. Do you go through the same sort of thing each night, or do you do different things before the gig? Do you actually have a structure?
Well, you kind of, because by nature what we do is very chaotic and very nomadic, and we're quite schizophrenic people. You kind of crave a bit of a structure, And so what we normally do is soundcheck maybe for about 45 minutes and try and get an early dinner, because you can't eat too close to showtime, otherwise you feel heavy, and you can still taste your dinner while you're jumping around and trying to rock, and then usually start having a couple of beers about 2 hours before the show, play some banging hip-hop tunes, and just try and get the energy levels up, take lots of vitamins, Baroccas and stuff. And,
really?
Yeah, and mix the health with a little bit of bad stuff, and then
get a Barocca and wash it down with a beer. I
yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
People are going backstage at Placebo and they're seeing this bowl full of pills, and it's vitamin B1 and B2.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was wondering this: how much because I do stand-up comedy, and it's obviously very reliant on the audience. In a rock show, can it really make a big difference between the audience being a good audience, a bad audience?
Absolutely. It's kind of it's like sex. It makes a big difference.
If you've got an audience.
No, if you've got an audience, no. It's like if the person you're in bed with is making as much effort as you, there's nothing worse than a plank. After you've made all that effort, all the drinks you've bought, and all the witticisms and charm you put on, kind of thing. There's nothing worse than somebody who just lies there. And similarly, similarly with an audience, you need feedback from them. You need to have an exchange of energy. All good art, whether it's painting or live music, the artist takes a step towards the viewer or the audience, and they have to take a step towards them as well for there to be a certain synergy.
And your show is a lot like sex in that it's good if it goes for an hour and a half, and if people clap enough, you do an encore.
Exactly.
Now, I want to talk to you about your covers, if I could, because we've been playing a couple on the station recently, because you put out the album and it had a few of the covers that you've done over the years and stuff like that. When you're choosing a cover, do you go for songs that you think you could make a bit different? Do you go for bands you really like, songs that you really like? Is there some sort of process when you think about that?
Well, you've usually decided in the back of your mind, what one day we're going to cover this. Like, for example, one day we'll end up covering Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. That's like an example of a total challenge.
Yeah.
So it's usually you have a few ideas and they're always there, and then by the time you get into the studio to do a B-side session, or you get asked to do a cover for a film or something, then you go, okay, well let's try that one, and let's try that one. Covers are done for fun, so if you start working on them and they don't work, you just kind of give it up, Some you stay quite faithful to the original blueprint, because that's kind of the only way that you can do it.
Do you worry about something like say when you're covering a band like the Pixies? Do you worry that like a band like that has such a loyal following that people don't want those sort of songs covered?
Well, too bad, man. Sort of, if you're going to be in a bonnet about that, I think you should really get a life, If people like Limp Bizkit can get away, covering doing all these dodgy covers, then we can do a pretty faithful rendition of Where Is My Mind, and if you don't like it, don't come to the show.
Were you a fan of theirs?
They got me through college. Yeah, we're doing some shows with them in Germany this year, so very happy about that.
Is it one of those things that when you were a teenager, with them getting you through the idea of playing with a band that was so important to you back then? Could you have even imagined that then?
Absolutely not, no. And we did some shows in Europe with Frank Black and the Catholics opening for us, and in fact it's immortalized on our live DVD that's coming out, and we actually took to the stage with Frank Black to do Where's My Mind, so that's like the biggest vindication possible. You're just kind of like, screw you, I'm on stage with Frank Black, you know? It's like, I don't care what you think about me, man, you know? Look at me now.